integrity, they're supposed to be elected officials to the Senate from their states, which is what they are.
The quality of their makeup doesn't mean anything?
No, Jim, it doesn't. Or Tom.
I can't agree with you that anybody can get up there and cheat and be expected to be fair in investigating Judge Bork.
Well, Tom, the only criteria is that you be elected and appointed to the committee. That's the only real criteria, Tom.
Well, that's a sad situation. Thank you.
Okay, Tom. Okay, Tom. Don't be too bummed out.
You moved to FLA is because you're not believable enough. The reason why you moved is because management thought that Wheeler could induce the audience to buying the advertiser's products because he claims that he is the most believable talk show host in the Bay Area.
It's also the lowest rated.
That's what I was trying to bring up. I was saying, why don't you claim that you're in the worst time spot?
Well, you know, Jim, I'd agree with you. When you listen to Jack Wheeler, he certainly sounds like a very sincere man, but I can tell you unequivocally, absolutely unequivocally, that Wheeler walks around that station bad-mouthing it, its management, and its personnel every single day. He calls the general manager wet behind the ears. He's called the program director a fool and stupid. And he also lies about his age.
Society has changed in my lifetime. In my children's lifetime, it's going to revolve even more. And that's why I think...
Shut up!
All right. Go ahead.
We're going to have a conversation?
Well, I want to finish my point, but go ahead.
But, John, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people listening to this program right this very instant.
Oh, my God, that Johnny. Southside Johnny. Uh-huh.
I had to make some comments to that dreamer. I wondered what kind of smoke I think he's a carryover from the hippies of the 60s. He must have been really...
Well, why don't you make some comments that, aren't filled with cliches?
Well, the comments was when he said that he didn't mind the blacks coming to his home. How about his children, his little white children, going down there in that battle zone?
What
I
battle
thought you
zone?
would have asked him.
What battle zone?
Back in the black section, the south side there.
Well, first of all, we don't know where he lives. Not all blacks live in battle zones, do they, Johnny?
Well, I'd say
some of them live in mighty fine housing, probably better than yours.
Oh well, yeah, I'm in just a grass half chuck out here, hut as you might think. But
what race riots are you talking about, Johnny?
Well, wasn't it a race riot? Wasn't a big, the blacks come pouring in there by the hundreds?
No, Johnny.
Oh, it wasn't a race riot? Well,
no,
how
Johnny.
about in
blacks did not come pouring in there by the hundreds.
How about in Georgia, when the news media took up on that, and Oprah, even that Oprah Winnie or whatever, that fat broad that is on TV, she had to go down there and talk to those people, how bad they treated those black folks there.
Wasn't a race riot either, was it, Johnny?
Oh, there was a lot of arrests. There was
There are a lot of arrests at a football game, Johnny. It doesn't make it a riot, does it?
Riot.
Or how some drunk in Madeira Beach wants to look at it.
Oh, in other words, 1,100 State Highway Patrol in Georgia was called out. Even the militia was standing by, and you don't call any problem on that.
I wouldn't call that a riot,
Well,
Johnny.
answer the question, then. How come it's 17 and 18-year-olds that are doing all the problem? If all this stuff was supposed to be so good and so true and everybody loves it, how come the kids are doing all the,
well, I suppose, Johnny, it's because they have ignorant parents like you. Tony and we're getting awfully tired of the conversation, too. Tony and Brandon, hi, you're on the air. Braden and I do apologize. Hello, Tony.
Yes, I'm on the air.
Yes, Tony.
Oh, Bob?
Yes, Tony.
Bob? Oh, okay. I like it's not the same idea, right? Okay. I bought a house. I come from Massachusetts. I bought a house. I was 23, 24 years old. And I don't know about
We don't need your entire history. I want to know, where does Tampa Bay stand on this particular issue? Where do you stand on breasts in general? Do you like them large, small, in between? How about the nipples shapes? Does that make any difference to you? Would you be more inclined to believe a woman with oval nipples than a woman with circular nipples? These are the topics that we shall address into the fourth and final hour. Nothing else. Nothing else at all. Because I'll be damned if I'm going to take testimonials concerning racial, whatever. Have I made myself real clear? Good. Has Jessica lost her credibility because she displayed her breasts? Do all women who display their breasts lose credibility? Do fat men who have breasts lose their credibility when they display them? Do flat-chested women have more credibility than large-breasted women? Jessica's breasts, let's get this correct. We don't want to be accused of perhaps suggesting someone else is flashing out there. Jessica's breasts, are you eagerly awaiting the Playboy issue? Have you already decided in your own mind what they look like? Jessica Hahn's breasts are the topic of conversation this hour, nothing else. That is it. Would you like to know why that is it? Well, I'd be delighted to tell you, because we just got a call off the air from somebody's great-grandmother, actually, who said, and I shall... Do you think that they are firm, or do you think they're a little mushy? Do you think they sag, or do you think they point upwards? And I don't want to leave the ladies out of this. Do you think yours are better than Jessie's? Would you put yours up against Jessie, so to speak? Not really up against, but perhaps side by side, so we could all judge for ourselves. Would you show them? I'm not asking you to. I'm just asking you if you would. If not, why not? How much are yours worth, huh? Jessie probably got a couple $100,000 for showing hers. Are yours worth even more? Do you think Jessie will burn in hell for exposing her breasts? Do you think Jessie will have a hard time finding a good Christian husband now that she has displayed the family jewels in Playboy? Do you think Jim will buy a copy of Playboy? Do you think he'll show it to Tammy? Do you think Tammy will buy a copy of Playboy and compare? Would you like to see Tammy posing nude in Playboy? Or perhaps Mechanics Illustrated, or whatever publication would be suitable for her? Would you like to see Tammy's gazongas? Does that trouble you one way or the other? Let me give you the telephone numbers. That trouble you one way. And you might as well rush to them, because I'm just going to go through and repeat this over and over and over and over again. I'll be damned if I'm going to talk about a topic that has some old lady calling up saying, I fell asleep. Go to Mike in Tampa. Hi, Mike. Where do you stand on Jessica's bosom?
That wouldn't turn me on to stand on them.
Uh-huh. How do you envision them? Do you think the nipples are pink or brown?
Usually a peaked-looking woman like that, they're probably pink.
Pink?
Yeah.
Well, am I to assume then you prefer brown?
Well, that's a woman that gets a lot of sun, healthy, athletic type.
Uh-huh. You don't think Jessica gets much sun?
No, because she's usually indoors, behind closed doors with PTL members.
Do you think that Jim will buy a copy of the magazine?
Who, Bakker?
Bakker, right, Jim Bakker. Reverend Jim Bakker.
I don't think he's learned his lesson. He probably will.
Do you think he'll show it to Tammy?
I don't know. The way the news described it, he was a kinky one. I think she just liked to spend money.
Well, don't forget, she was the one hanging around with the country and western star at the time.
Yeah,
Do you think she showed her breasts to him?
Yeah. Well, I imagine she's got much nicer breasts than Tammy. Than Jessica.
Wait, you think that Tammy has nicer breasts than Jessica?
Yeah, didn't a lot of PTL members chip in to get her breasts surgically implanted?
They did?
Yeah, I thought I read something about that.
My goodness.
Yeah, that's, I guess they had to pass the plate a couple of times.
Pass the plate a couple of times? Well, there are two of them, that's true.
Yeah.
I only got enough the first time around for one, I see. Well, that would certainly be a rather difficult situation, asking the poor woman to walk around with one large breast and one that kind of looked like Jessica's.
Yeah, that Jim Bakker
That would be asking her to go a little bit too far, I suppose.
Yeah, well, he probably had his mind on about a 42 cup, and kept passing the plate. Can I interject one thing, though?
Oh, what's that, Mike?
I think he wears women's panties while he was on TV raising money for the PTL club.
You think that Jim was wearing women's panties. Why do you think that, Mike?
By the look on his face.
The look on his face. Well, he always did have a smile on, didn't he?
He always had that you-know-what eating grin.
Yes, I do.
I'm not asking you to run down to the radio station this afternoon. There are probably some other people here that would, but I wouldn't.
You would not?
Well, for the sake of this conversation, to try to keep it on a reasonably high level, on a reasonably intellectual level, I ask the question: would you display them? Not asking, not panting and begging and pleading myself, but just intellectually, would you display them?
If I was at a nude beach, then yes, I would.
Why only a nude beach?
Well, I mean, I couldn't do it in my backyard.
Why not?
Well, because of where I live, I would be arrested. But if I was at a nude beach or up in the mountains, I would have no problem at all. I'm not ashamed of my body. I don't think anybody else should be either.
You do understand that most women over, let's say, the age of 45 or 50 have just gasped. Do you understand why?
Yes.
Could you explain to me why they would find what you said so horrifying?
Because they're sagged down to their waistline. Go buy a new car.
I'm really not trying to be crude, but if you were offered that kind of money, would you do it? $200,000.
$200,000, probably.
Yeah. Would you do it for $100,000?
No, I think $200,000 is a fair amount.
You think you're worth $200,000?
Oh, definitely. Being 20 years old and a college student. But
how about $100,000 and we'll let you cover one of them up?
One of them? $100 apiece. I don't see why not. That makes more sense, yeah.
Thank you, Deborah.
Thank you.
And you think that Jessica has more than a handful? How can you tell? I've not been able to see. She wears those black,
that kind of turns me on, that black.
It does.
Yeah.
How about, did you kind of like those high-heeled boots with a fur around the top, too?
Yeah.
You get your vote. She's your kind of gal.
Definitely.
Do you think this is going to cause her grief in finding a good Christian husband?
Well, a good husband, I see no problem in her finding.
Would you marry Jessica?
Well, if my wife, left me, I might.
Would you leave your wife for Jessica? She's got all that money.
No, I wouldn't leave my wife.
In fact, I think it makes her a more open person.
Darlene, have you ever exposed him?
No. I'll tell you that sometimes I wish I'd had the nerve to. But no, I never have. I don't know.
Just to watch some dribbling fool of a male go,
really?
Look at that thing.
Really, I wouldn't have the guts to do the whole thing. Are you going to buy the magazine?
Am I going to buy the magazine? No, I'm going to wait for it to be sent here, and then I'm going to say, gee, I've got to look at an article in there about something or other, and then I will quietly go out into the hall and oogle. It is in, Hillsborough County, 990-9352, and wouldn't you know that not only can I fill up the board with calls talking about breasts, but Webb wanders in a half hour early.
Yes, sir. The Ninny Man himself is here.
The Ninny Man?
Yeah, that's what I call him, Ninny.
I see. Isn't that exciting?
Yes.
Have you mentally undressed Jessica?
Yeah, I did. I tried.
Were you a little bit bummed out, too, that she was always wearing black and it was hard to see,
I kind of like that. She fits the profile of the woman that I have usually married in the past,
Your women always wore high-heeled boots with fur around the top?
That's right.
Imitation fur?
Some of them were imitation fur.
I see.
And I always had to end up paying hush money at the end of the divorce, I swear, I'll write a book and tell everybody how you really are.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
All of them.
My goodness.
They could collaborate and put together a hell of a motion picture.
Do you want to sit here and take some of these calls with me?
I'd love to sit here and take some of the calls with you.
Bruce in Tampa. Hi, you're on the air, WFLA.
Hello, Bob.
Hello, Bruce.
Hello, Ted.
Hello, Bruce.
How's it going?
Great.
Yeah, I just got out of a cold shower. Yeah, this sort of sent me scurrying from my back issues of National Pornographic and Hustler and Penthouse and all that.
Well, are you breathlessly awaiting the unveiling, I suppose?
Well, I've been waiting for a long time for something I could sink my teeth into, and
do you really think Jessica's that kind of girl?
Grab a hold of. Well, I don't know.
She doesn't look that big to me.
I'd have to read any accompanying interviews with her. I really need something to grab a hold of in this case.
I don't think Jessica is the girl. Then I think you're more interested in Tammy.
Oh God, don't know. I'd rather have AIDS.
Any more than an armload is wasted.
I'd rather have AIDS, to tell you the truth.
I wouldn't kiss Tammy with your lips.
That's a good one. I gotta,
Well, I cleaned it up.
you would get some 10-foot poles you wouldn't touch either one of Jim or Tammy with.
Bruce, if you were Tammy, would you go out and get a copy and compare?
Boy, the competition there is so unevenly matched. I think it, from her perspective, it would probably be pointless. Anyone who has to put on about 3 tons of makeup a night before even going to bed. I mean, geez. I can see where she doesn't need to. I've seen her fully clothed. I've never really thought about mentally undressing.
Ah, come on, Bruce.
Yeah.
Give me a break. What are you, a commie or something? I've been in both Melons and Hooters with Mary, and we have discussed it. I told her how awful I thought it was.
Oh, yes.
How degrading
Isn't it terrible?
I thought it was.
You just...
And I absolutely meant it at the instant I said it.
You just go in there and the mind boggles. I mean, think, how could people exist like this? Isn't there any
Who helps them sit up in the morning?
I always like that.
Never make breast angry. If we go to war with them, we're going to lose. They outnumber us 2-1.
Older.
Well, I kind of think that if anything, if there's a problem, they could have come up with a more suitable. Well, maybe they couldn't have, but a more suitable location in a motel room in Clearwater.
Wouldn't you have liked to have been a fly out there on that wall in the motel room? Can you imagine what some of the dialogue would have been?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What's he doing behind you?
Like Carol Lindley, huh?
Thank you, Bruce.
Okay, Bob. Take care and have a good day.
I'll try.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Gary McHenry's discuss things that are truly on the minds of the people, and we're talking about Jessica Hahn's breasts. In Tampa, your turn at WFLA.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, John.
How much would you want for your wife to do it?
How much would I want for my wife to do it?
Yeah.
I don't negotiate for my wife.
Well, come on, you can ask everybody else. I mean, people out there gotta want to know how much you'd want.
Mary can flash for any price she wants.
Okay.
That's her decision.
I'll give you that one. I think Jessica Hahn has got all the right in the world to do what she wants to do.
Well, of course she does. I mean, this is utterly absurd. I mean, what kind of a question to be asked at a federal grand jury?
Yeah, but I think, she's doing it for money, plain and simple.
Well, I don't care if she was doing it for kicks. So what? So what? If you got it, flaunt it.
Yeah, right. So I don't see your...
If you don't have it, try to convince people you do. Jim's... Well, thank you, John.
All right, Bob.
John, one question.
All right.
Are you married?
No, I'm not. Oh, I was once.
Well, in that case, how much would you show your ex-wife's breasts for?
How much change you got in your pocket?
I'll give you an IOU.
You got it.
As good as my word.
You got it.
Thanks, John.
You got a great show, Bob.
Yeah, now. Where were you when I was talking about Bork?
I think she loses her credibility because if she showed her breasts.
You think she loses her
let me expand on that,
credibility?
too. I saw a picture of Bork recently. He was at the beach without a shirt on. He's probably got nicer breasts than she does.
Or figured woman like perhaps Tammy.
No, I don't know about her either.
Well, what do you want, Tom? I mean, come on. What do you want?
I don't know. I guess I
mean, we've got, this firm little perky breasts on Jessie. We have those big motherly breasts on Tammy. What's in between?
That's what I like, in between there,
In between, I see.
And the makeup on Tammy, I don't know about that.
I don't think she puts makeup down there. Maybe a little blush.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Hey there.
Hi, Gladys.
First of all, I want to tell you I'm in my mid-40s. When I first started listening...
Yes, but how old are you, Gladys?
40.
Hello, Mike.
I have to object here. I think it's sensational radio. Gary McHenry used the word bush 3 times in that last report.
You're kidding.
I think she'd look better if she learned to walk on her hands. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Bob.
Bye.
Very simple, Don. If you read the paper today, you find out that 70% of the people don't care.
Well...
17% are in favor of it, 13% are opposed to it, and 70% don't care.
How do you think it's going to turn out?
I haven't the vaguest idea. I'm not clairvoyant.
Okay, well, I'll get off the telephone now. Have a good day, Bob.
Whatever, Don.
Don and Lutz is boring.
Yeah, right.
My God,
so you, Bruce. Don in St. Petersburg. You're on the air at WFLA.
Hello. Bob?
Yes, Don.
Yeah, I think about changing my name, listening to those other guys, but...
Just one, Dorothy.
No, I can't say there's any show. Oh,
well, you said the media is basically atheistic. What's atheism? There ain't no God. One show, Dorothy, that says there ain't no God.
Well, all I know is that the whole...
Dorothy, you don't know nothing. You're making it up as you're going along.
An attitude toward callers.
Get rid of Lassiter.
Bob Lassiter, weekdays noon to 4 on 970 WFLA.
People so gullible, so stupid, as to part with that kind of money for her story and her photographs. In my humble estimation, the girl was screwed in more ways than one in this whole affair. Hello, Tom. Just accidentally turned it on today, huh?
When did I ever say I didn't listen?
Frequently, Tom.
No, I don't believe I ever did, Bob.
Oh, I see.
In fact, I called you not that long ago. If I didn't listen to
I know, Tom, you call very frequently. You're a regular caller.
I didn't call you. How is it you know my name so well? It wouldn't make sense to be such a frequent caller to the point that you know my name that I'm always saying I don't call, and your listeners hear me constantly call.
Yes, Tom, I know that, you're such a fool that you don't realize that people also pick up on that.
Well, Bob, I guess...
Well, what was it that was on your mind today, Tom?
Excuse me?
What was it that was on your mind today?
Well, I've just been listening to a little bit of what you had to say, and I think you're taking a lot out of context.
Mm-hmm.
And you say that...
For example, Tom, what have I taken out of context?
Well, you've distorted and taken it out of context. I'd be happy to give you...
For example, Tom...
I'd be happy to give you quite a few examples. Let me start with number one. Let's see how far you'll let me go in showing you just where you've been doing that before you cut me off. The word fundamentalist, and you've heard of the word evangelical, and you've heard of the word charismatic.
And Pentecostal, too, right?
There, Bob?
Yes, I know what the differences are, Tom, and as a matter of fact, it was a fundamentalist who stole the PTL. Pentecostal. And I can also show you in writing where Jerry Falwell referred to people such as Jim Bakker and other Pentecostals as devil worshippers.
And
next, Tom, I said I'm willing to concede that to them, Tom. Tom, I said I was willing to concede that. But if they want to make promises,
nice
want to make promises of things that can be documented, Tom, then they should be forced to document it. Tom, you get hung up on because you always try to talk over on me. Bye, Tom. Gotcha. My finger's a little quicker than yours. There's a man who never makes promises of clear roads and smooth sailing. He only tells it like it is. You don't have to send him any money. But every day, he is out there watching the traffic. His name, Gary McHenry, with the WFLA traffic report, which is not quite there as of yet. I have just been informed after going through this entire build-up. But if he was there, he would not ask you to send him any money. He would not tell you that if you listen to his traffic reports that your stocks would go up in value. He will not receive any words of knowledge concerning miraculous cures to people that listen to his traffic report. He promises one thing and one thing alone, to tell you whether or not the roads are clogged. And at some point he will call in, and at some point we will put him on the air, and at some point he will do those things that I just said, and it won't cost you a nickel, and you don't have to join the 970 Club or anything like that to... Oh, there's his song. Hello, Gary.
Thank you, master of Phil. I just figured I'd, let you know that the roads are clogged today.
How much is that going to cost us, Gary?
A miraculous cure. We have a few accident locations. So
well, then get a word of knowledge of some clear road someplace or something.
Yeah, I think that's probably what we should do is list the clear roads or the intersections without accidents. It would take a lot less time. We'll just try to hit the high spots today, so...
UFLA.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Hannah.
I'd just like to ask you one question.
Okay.
Do you know what virgins think about?
Do I know what virgins think about?
Yeah.
No, Hannah, I don't.
I didn't think so. It's a joke. You're hot, too.
You think that's what it is? It's the heat today?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I'm pretty hot today.
All right. Well, excuse me, let me fan myself quickly.